What's going on, guys? Let me step into my office real quick. Just wanted to go over something that I started implementing into my life more consistently and why it's been so important and why I think that it's super imperative that everyone implements it. So for a lot of years, I've kind of just let my daily schedule, with work, my work schedule kind of dictate my life. I didn't really have a lot of say-so in the things that I did. I just kind of let life happen to me. And I feel like that's what most of us do. Most of us find ourselves in a place of just kind of letting our job dictate when we wake up. We figure out if we're the 30-minute guy or the hour guy, and we act accordingly. What we find out is that as we get older, this becomes less and less useful. We find that things in our day kind of get out of hand. We don't have a lot of control with what goes on. And I found myself in that same spot. I also found myself turning to alcohol to reduce some of the stress that was caused by not having order in my day. So one of the things that I came across that is not really that profound is the idea that a morning routine is super important. I've said for years that I'm not a morning guy. About 2 years ago, I changed that. I changed the limiting belief that I had on myself that told me that I was not a morning guy. I kept repeating this, and I kept staying up late and getting up late, getting up just in time to do whatever work I had to do whatever work I had to do that day. And, just like you all realize, just like I started to realize, our day gets away from us. Things come our way that we can't control. And because we wake up sort of behind, we get steamrolled all day long, right? This is stressful. And then what happens? We turn to a vice. I turn to alcohol. Some people turn to smoking. Some people turn to binge watching. Some people turn to food. Like, there's all kinds of things that we turn to in order to relieve the stress of not having control of your day. So the one thing that I did is I started taking control of my mornings. The mornings are super important in your day. The way that you handle your morning can dictate how the rest of your day goes. That's not to say that challenging things aren't still going to come your way. Work stuff's still going to happen. People are still going to cut you off on the interstate. You're still going to have, sickness that comes your way. You're still going to have hard times. Like, all that stuff is not going to go away. But the way that you're able to handle them will change. Whenever you start your day in control, you make the choices. You determine how your day goes. You determine how you respond. All this is rooted in your morning routine. So, my morning routine starts with getting out of bed around 5 to 5:30, somewhere around in there. I naturally wake up at this time now. My body is just accustomed to it. I look forward to waking up. Actually, one of the things that I do is before I go to bed, I will kind of tell myself, hey, I want to wake up at 5:15. This is something I learned when I was a kid. And I think about it, and that's what I go to bed thinking about. And more times than not, I end up waking up within minutes of that time. It actually kind of brings a smile to my face. It's kind of funny. It's just, I don't know, a little quirky thing about me. But I would say try it. It's kind of fun. When I get out of bed, the first thing I do is go to my sink and splash cold well water on my face. I do this for several minutes. This is something that I've found to be super helpful in just waking me up. There's actually receptors in our face that provide stimulus in our body, in our minds, wakes our brain up, tells our body that we're ready to go. It eliminates that grogginess. It's hard to be groggy when you got 50, 54, 55 degree cold well water on your face. It's just not really possible. So I do this for several minutes. This is something that is really important in my morning routine. Straight out of bed, putting the cold water on my face. Then I brush my teeth. This is something that most everyone already does. Although when you wake up late, brushing your teeth can kind of go to the wayside if it's between brushing your teeth or being late for work. I know that drill too. So when you set the tone for your morning, you are able to do the things that are important, the things that you need to do to take care of yourself. And brushing your teeth is one of them, right? Then I get my sweatpants on, grab my sweatshirt, I go downstairs. And something that I've started doing more recently is adding some physical activity first thing in the morning. So for the month of December, which is when I'm recording this, I'm doing a challenge with a lot of my guys. It's 100 push-ups a day. You don't have to do them all in a row. I usually do 100 push-ups every morning. That's the first thing I do when I go downstairs. After I complete my 100 push-ups and I get the blood flow going, get my heart rate up a little bit, there's physical benefit to doing 100 push-ups first thing in the morning or doing any kind of physical activity first thing in the morning, but it's also a mental hurdle that you choose and decide to overcome first thing. Whenever you do that, you're contributing to the process of setting the tone for your day. You are in control. This is what I'm telling myself. I'm in control. I determine what I do in the morning. The morning's not happening to me. I'm determining my morning. This is very valuable. As soon as I'm done with my push-ups, I go get my swimming suit on, because that's what most people do first thing in the morning. Get your swimming suit on, right? Why would I do that? For about 2 years now, one of the most important practices that I do first thing in the morning as part of my morning routine is I get into 44-degree water. Doesn't matter the temperature outside. All that's irrelevant. It's just what I do. I do not look forward to this part of my morning, at least not getting in the tub. But I do look forward to getting out of the tub. I also look forward to the mental reset that happens. Resetting my brain from any worries that I might have, any cares of the day that I might have, any frustrations that I carried from the day before. You know, some of those things sneak through the night into your next day. And if you start your day in control by doing something difficult, you're showing yourself a few things. For one, you're showing yourself that you can determine your morning. You're showing yourself that you can do something hard. You're showing yourself and reminding yourself that pain is temporary, that discomfort is temporary, and you're resetting your brain from all those worries and all the anxiety, all the frustrations that you carried from the day before. This is really important. So as soon as I get out of the tub, something incredible happens actually. And if you've never experienced it, I highly recommend trying it. Everyone that I've ever coaxed into getting into my cold tub has confirmed this. So there's an energy, an exhilaration that happens as soon as you get out of that tub. I know some of you are thinking, well, of course, you're just sitting in 44-degree water. Of course, it feels good. There's something more than that. There's something that happens with the way your blood, the dopamine levels, all that kind of stuff that happens that's pretty incredible. It's not really describable other than exhilaration. It's just something that's pretty amazing. I look forward to that part of my morning probably more than anything. So when I get out of the tub, I go dry off, put my sweatpants back on, but I don't put my sweatshirt on. You'd think, oh, you're cold, why don't you put your sweatshirt on? One of the things that I found, and this is proven by science, but I just experienced it firsthand, is when you get in the cold water, your body is automatically trying to warm itself up. That's just part of the body's response to environmental factors, right? If your body is super cold, externally, it's trying to warm itself up from the inside out, and vice versa. Whenever your body's super hot, it's trying to cool itself down from the inside out. So if you immediately try to warm it up externally, you are altering that process. So your body says, okay, there's no more external cold coming in, so we can shut down the warming factor. And your body doesn't regulate from the inside out its natural body temperature. It's your natural temperature anymore. It kind of, kind of shuts that process down. So it's really important that you let your body kind of warm up naturally. And this can be a little uncomfortable the first times you do this, but I have really grown accustomed to this. It's about a 30-minute process before I put my sweatshirt on. And this is year round, summertime, wintertime, doesn't matter. My house is always, a very similar temperature all winter long, and a very similar temperature, a very steady temperature all summer long. So my body's pretty accustomed to this process. And during this 30 minutes, one of the things that I've done for years actually is I hand grind some local roasted coffee beans, and I proceed to make a pour over style coffee. If you've never had a pour over, highly recommend trying it. It's a really simple process, super easy to get into, super easy to figure out. There's, you can get super technical with it, or you can just kind of do it by intuition, which is how I do. It's actually how I do a lot of things. And this comes with just trial and error. Sometimes at the very beginning you make a bad coffee. Sometimes you make it too strong, too weak, pour it too fast, pour it too slow. But the process of making my coffee takes about 30 minutes. I look forward to this part of my morning as well. It's just something that, the one thing about making coffee, the way that I do it, the hand grinder that I have, the beans that I get, the little piece of equipment that I use to do the pour over, this is something that I can travel with. And so I travel all over with it. I've taken it pretty much anywhere I've ever traveled to. You can't take the cold tub with you, so you have to adapt and kind of adjust that part of your morning. But establishing these habits, you become so accustomed to them and so used to doing it that you are very creative whenever you do have to travel or get outside of your normal, your normal living routine, living environment. As soon as my coffee's done, I go and grab my sweatshirt, throw my sweatshirt on. Now my body's ready to be warmed up externally. It's done as much as it can from an internal warming point of view. And I go sit down, and this is whenever I read. So if you notice, I haven't mentioned anything about my phone on purpose. I've chosen to not look at my phone first thing in the morning. I don't look at my phone until after I've read. This is just something that I started doing a long time ago, probably at the beginning of this process, definitely over a year now. I just find that looking at my phone first thing in the morning causes a lot of distraction. I can't say that there hasn't been a day. I'm sure there's been a day here and there when there was something important that I knew I was expecting, or I woke up to, whatever. But in general, I do not look at my phone until after I've completed all of my other morning activities, including reading. I read for about 30 minutes. The book that I'm mainly currently reading right now during that 30-minute period is the Bible. I'm just going through the Bible from front to back. Something I've never done. I've always wanted to do it. It's always been intimidating. But, like I say quite often, intimidation is pretty much something that we make up. Nothing in and of itself can intimidate us. We choose to let it intimidate us. That's just my understanding. That's my experience. I've taken things that were intimidating to me and turned them back on themselves, and I'm no longer intimidated by them. And I actually learn. I grow from being uncomfortable, and part of this process of reading through the Bible, it's a discipline. Obviously, I get stuff out of it. It's a pretty incredible book, but there's a discipline factor. There's some parts that aren't as fun as the others. Some don't read like a story. They're more just like numbers and names, and I might read fast or skip through little parts of that, but it's really overall just a discipline. All of this is a discipline. You know, a lot of people might say that they don't have time to add this into their day. Everyone has time. You make time to do what you want. If you don't make time to do something that you think you want to do, you really don't want to do it. It's just as simple as that. There's no way around it. There's no, as soon as you determine that you want to take control of your day, you find a way to do that. If you have to get up an hour earlier, if you have to get up 30 minutes earlier, there's always a way. You go to bed earlier, whatever. You know, your morning routine really doesn't start in the morning. It starts the night before. And if you can end your day properly, then your morning routine has a better chance of being successful. Setting yourself up for success in all areas of life allows for success. You know, it kind of is self-explanatory. I think we overcomplicate things a lot. Some people do that more than others. And, you know, there's probably something psychological to that. I don't really care. The fact is you don't need to overcomplicate things. You don't need to complicate any of this stuff. It's just important that you establish a morning routine, overcome the excuses, realize the importance of it, and just add it into your day. Just make it a non-negotiable. You don't have to do the cold therapy. I highly recommend it, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to do a pour over coffee. I highly recommend that as well. You don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. I recommend waking up early though. Any opportunity that you can grab onto to take control of your morning is going to benefit you. It's going to benefit your family. It's going to benefit your work environment. It's going to benefit your business. Take advantage of your mornings. Don't let them happen to you. You need to take control of your day. Start your day right. That way, whenever all those things that come across your path during the day that are inevitable, all the things are still going to come. There's still going to be frustrations, like I said earlier. There's still going to be aggravations that come. There's still going to be setbacks. But if you start your day in control, training your mind, disciplining your body that pain is temporary, discomfort is temporary, you can choose to do hard things. And not only can you choose this, but you benefit from it. Your life benefits from it. That's the beauty of all this. Like, this isn't just about me having a morning routine. Like, it has benefited me in so many different ways. It's benefited me in my marriage. It's benefited me in my parenting, in my business. It's solidified my sobriety. There's no negatives. I don't miss out on sleep. I actually get better sleep. I look forward to the mornings, at least most aspects of my mornings. Again, getting in that cold water is tough, but every day that I do it, again, I'm just I don't know, putting another nail in that coffin of laziness. Like, I'm done with that. I'm no longer being lazy. I control my day. So it's time that you start controlling your day. You can do this. It is important. There is no excuse for not starting your day off properly. No excuse at all. So let's get a morning routine established. Think of some things that you can add into your day that just start you off on the right path. Be creative. Like, it doesn't have to be mine, but I do recommend having 3 or 4 things that you do every morning. Things that you're in control of, things that you determine, things that don't just happen to you, but that you make happen. So give it a shot. I think you'll like it. I think you'll really benefit from it. And let me know how it goes.